What's wrong with your glasses? Where will we put our board game table? Okay. La la la. Ready? Are we off-centered? Why are you over there so much?
I don't know what that means.
Look at how much space is here and you're not. You have no space. What are you doing?
Why is it me?
We'll look at the camera.
Yeah, but why am I the problem? Maybe you're the problem.
I'm not the problem.
My head is always in line with this.
My head's in line with it. I guess I just have to sit like this. Just put your arms down. Let me just see. I guess that's fine. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
What game?
And
What gamey things?
precisely, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Nice glasses.
Thank you.
We are here today to do another monthly wrap-up video. Now, we missed our monthly wrap-up last month, but...
We did?
We did.
Oh.
Our March wrap-up. So, in the month of April, we played a total of 40 different games.
That's got to be a high for us.
I
Different. Like, not total games. Different
games, and we played 51 times.
That's got to be a record for us.
And I'm pretty sure that I missed some of PG
Yeah.
stats. So we are just going to go through the list and talk about the games that we played. We're not going to go in depth about each one of them, but we are going to pull out some that, you know, we haven't talked about before and maybe want to give you a little bit more information.
We always say we won't say a lot, but then we always end up saying a lot.
But I'm going to let you know about them all.
Yep.
Okay, everybody on board with that? Starting off in April, we actually started the month out in Kentucky when we were visiting our Table Knots friends. Kentucky, where all the horses live and they all
There was a lot of horses.
drink bourbon and
What else do you know about Kentucky?
we were
Chicken.
in the middle of nowhere. Chicken,
Fried chicken.
fried chicken. What else did we learn?
All right, we covered Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Bourbon, KFC.
Yeah, that's about it.
I think we nailed it.
And Table Knots.
I think we nailed it.
We had a great time in Kentucky.
We did.
So when we went there, we were basically there for like our board game vacation, which we have an entire video recapping. So if you want to learn more about our vacation, you can go and watch that video,
Yep,
right?
sure
So now I played a few games without Jeff before he arrived.
Yep.
So some of those games were Quick Wits, which is just like a different version of Anomia, like a little word game, a word association type game. I don't really know how to explain it. And then we played Just One, which we've talked about so much already. Then we played Happy Salmon, which I went into a little bit in that board game recap, but this is like a very high activity card game where you and everybody around the table are like yelling things and trying to get people to do happy salmon and fish bumps and high fives and all that stuff, and it's so much fun. I
Take your word for it.
highly recommend it as like an icebreaker or a great game for work, but we played that. And then the next one that we're going to talk about a little bit because Jeff also played this. I played it without Jeff,
Yep.
but then we all played it together, and that is Cash and Guns, which is a game that when I first saw the cover, I was like, this game looks really dumb. Didn't you think?
No.
Really?
But you always judge things by the cover.
But I don't know, it just looked like a silly game that I was like, oh, is this, like, what even is this? But, okay, so Cash and Guns is, I would say it's a party style game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And it comes with these foam guns. One person is named the Godfather, so it's like you're in the mob, kind of. Everybody plays a different character. And then in the center of the table, there is going to be different like money and diamonds and artwork. Bunch of loot. And on the count of 3, the Godfather counts down from 3. Everybody points their gun at somebody else around the table. Before they do that, they're actually going to choose a card that either says bullet or
if you've loaded
click
your gun
or something. Yeah. So whether or not you really actually loaded your gun. And then you're going to count down from 3 again, and then everybody flips their cards over. But before that, the Godfather can make somebody choose where to get their gun. You can also choose that if you have a bunch of guns pointed at you, you can choose to knock your character down, as in like you're diving down so nobody's going to shoot you because they're going to miss. And then you go 1, 2, 3 and you reveal what card you picked. You can get shot up to 3 times. If you get shot 3 times, you're out. But basically, you're just trying to collect as much money as possible.
Yep.
And then whoever has the most like money by the end wins. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like so much fun.
It's going to require a good group that gets really into it, and it's one of those games that I think it highly depends on your playing group.
Yeah. So we also played a bunch of Fuji Flush. We played it like
Always.
4 times. We've talked about that exhaustively at this point. But then we started to play some games that were new to us, so we'll talk about those a little bit. And we'll start with Paranormal Detectives. Okay, so Paranormal Detectives is a game where one person is kind of acting like a ghost, and everybody else is trying to figure out how, I don't know if it's that person or somebody else, how they died and where they died. And you're guessing like 3 things. It's like how, where, and maybe who.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
And basically, you're going to go around and each person person is going to have an opportunity to choose for the ghost to give them a clue in a different way. So it might be through like a Ouija board type of situation, or they might draw something with your hand on a piece of paper. They might write something on your back, design something with a rope.
Very abstract clue giving, though.
Yes.
The ghost wants you to win.
The ghost wants you to figure it out. So you're just trying to solve this murder. I really liked it.
Yeah,
personally.
it's a more party-ish Mysterium.
Yeah, it's a more like physical version
like
of Mysterium.
dexterity.
Yeah, there's like tarot cards they can
tactile
give,
stuff.
and the detective is trying to give you clues, but they don't really have a lot to work with
No.
sometimes. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun, but I, in general, really enjoyed this type of game.
Yeah, that's more Jamie's niche than mine. It was good. I had about as equal fun as I would have playing Mysterium.
One thing that we played that I think that we both loved, and we now have our own copy, is Don't Get Got.
Yeah, Don't Get Got is really like a game within a game. So we were playing Don't Get Got while playing other board games.
Yes.
Don't Get Got is just, in its very simple form, you're just trying to get other people. So you're giving a bunch of
6 prompts.
Prompts that you would have, and you just play it throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout whatever. And I think you have to get all 6.
No, you have to get 3. The first person to get 3 wins.
Everyone has one of the same prompts, which is get someone to say, guess what?
So if you say guess what, and someone says what, then they got.
Yeah, and so you would flip that prompt.
Yeah.
Other ones, like, for example, I had to get Doolin to take a selfie with me with his phone. I got him with that. I would flip the prompt, and you would just go through, and it just keeps this tension going. It's really cool. I think it'd be really neat to play at, like, a convention when you have a bunch of friends around.
Yeah.
I do think it's tough because we just started first playing, and as soon as we started playing, everyone was trying to get everyone.
Everybody was very suspicious.
Yeah, so I think this game would be really good to be like, hey, here's your prompts. The game starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it gives people the time to kind of like
think about it, prepare, and
think and prepare, but also like kind of forget that it's happening.
Right.
So there's not everyone on edge. A really fun game
fun.
if you're doing like a board game weekend.
Yeah.
Or playing
or going on a vacation
with your family.
Like that, friends. Yeah.
Super fun.
Like one of them claimed that the other day you saw a deceased famous person and get a player to call you out on it.
Yeah. That's
like,
a good one.
It's so funny. Everyone just gets this little wallet and you carry it around
and you
and
just
then
can
if
check
you got somebody, you flip it over to gotcha, and if you didn't, it's a fail. Love. We also played Monikers, which we won't talk about a lot because we've talked about it like once again exhaustively, but love that game. And then we played Capital Lux 2 Generations. Max and I played this 4 times. We played it with just each other twice, and then we played it with, I think, Doolin and Emily once, then we played it with Jeff once. I loved it. Not a fan from Jeff.
Did not like it at all.
It's a card drafting game. You're kind of given a hand of cards and you're passing it around, drafting a hand. There is a capital city in the middle, and you are playing different characters into different colors, and each color or faction triggers a different ability of some sort, and you're trying to get the most points by the end of the game. It's a little bit hard to explain without really having the cards in front of me, but
it's just a bit set collection. It's like this
set collection drafting game.
It's like this combination of like Nidavellir and Red Rising. Like
a little bit, yeah. There are a bunch of different like types of scenarios or whatever that you can set up, and Max and I played through 4 different ones, and then you can like mix and match. And it's not really scenarios, but it's like each faction has like 4 different abilities. I really liked it. It is definitely one that I would want to buy, but where Jeff isn't a huge fan, then probably not.
There's other
I do wonder if you would have, if you'd like it better at 2.
Possible.
Then we played Fake Artist Goes to New York, which is an Oink game.
So good.
And this is another party game that involves drawing. And basically, you have like one piece of paper.
Yep, collectively.
So everybody gets a little thing at the beginning that either tells you what you're drawing, you get a prompt, and one person is going to get a card with an X on it. And they have to just pretend that they know what's going on. So it's going to start off with one person just drawing one line, then they pass the paper to the next person and they continue the drawing with another line, and so on. And you have to try and determine who the fake artist is. It's like who doesn't know what the picture actually is.
Yeah.
So Doolin used an example like when he was playing with his family, the prompt was shark, and he thought, oh, I know what this is. It's a whale. And he drew like this huge like belly on it or something, and everyone was like, well, obviously you don't know what it is. Anyways, this is a fantastic drawing party game. You do not need to be a good drawer to play it. And it was quick. Anybody can learn it. Anybody can do it.
It was so good. Because then I didn't get to play as the fake artist. Like when people are questioning you, thinking you're the fake artist, to like then justify the thing you've done. Being like, no, this is why it's a shark.
Yes.
And it's so fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we played Awkward Guests, Jeffrey.
Awkward Guests is more in-depth clue.
Better clue.
Better clue. You're basically trying to uncover a murder, who did it, if they had an accomplice, why they did it, what weapon, what rooms they might have walked through in order to fulfill the murder.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things that you need to uncover. It was just really, really cool. You're passing cards along that have clues on them, and you have a sheet in front of you that's hidden from everyone else. And you're basically taking those clue prompts and deducing all of the things that you need to uncover, and then eventually trying to solve the murder.
When it's your turn, you ask like, okay, I am looking for clues about Steven and the shed.
Yeah.
So anybody around the table is going to say, well, I've got cards I could give you. I have 5 cards I can give you. And basically you're trading cards with other people. So they could literally be trading you cards, or you could be trading them cards that they've already had. So the more people that you play this with, I think the better.
Yeah. And so part of the fun of the game is trying to remember, who did I just give cards to a couple rounds ago? Because the odds are if I trade with them, they're going to pass me back those cards. And then it basically ruins your turn.
Yeah, and a really cool thing about this that's different than Clue, because obviously in Clue, if you want to guess the situation, guess who did it with what, you check the card and then you know, and you can't play anymore. But with this, there's an app that you just put all of your answers in, and then it will tell you whether or not you're right or wrong. So if you're wrong, then you can keep playing.
But you
only
have
one more guess.
You have limitations.
Exactly. Anyways, I love this game.
It was very good.
I would
love to buy it, but again, probably one that we would struggle to pull out, but would be one we'd pull out, I think, during board game weekends.
Yeah, and this is one I think that you don't need, like, you could easily play this with non-gamers.
100%.
Yeah, because everybody knows Clue.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different Clue.
Yeah, a little bit more in depth.
Yeah. We played a game of Rhino Hero, which was great fun. I knocked over the tower, so we'll move on from that. Then we played Merchants of Magick, which is a flip and write game that is set in the world of Setawatch, which is essentially like the world of D&D, basically. Yeah. This had a really, really cool mechanic where you've got like a set of cards in front of you, and you are trying to fulfill like different orders or objectives, and the cards like one passes to the next person each round. So your cards are always
You'll have like
moving.
3 in front of you.
Yeah, and you're trying to like build out the things that are in front of you before they move on to another person so that they can score you points. And somebody's going to be rolling dice in the middle that are giving you numbers that are going to allow you to like build out different things like weapons or armor.
Yeah, you're a merchant. You're trying to sell
whatever.
Things to people coming to your stall.
Yeah.
And the cards kind of work as a timer. So like as Jamie mentioned, each time you'll pass one to the left around. So you basically have 2 or 3 turns before that card's going to be gone.
Yeah.
To build it to add to your merchant stall.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of assigned like a person at the beginning who's looking for certain things. So if you've got that thing in front of you and you're like, oh my God, like I only have like 3 turns before it's gone, and then I'm going to lose the opportunity to make it for this person. It is more of a roll and ride, I guess, because you are rolling the dice and then doing the thing, but the cards are coming out and going around. So
the
there's
cards
a few
don't really get
mechanics.
flipped though, so I guess it would be a roll and ride. Yeah.
Anyways,
I think we misspoke
really,
there,
really liked
I
it.
loved it. I almost bought it when I got home. That's about the top level of crunchy roll and write that I want to play. A little bit below, I think it's around the cartographer's level for me. Super good.
And then I played Tattoo Stories, which Jeff didn't play, which is another drawing party game that I want to talk about really quickly because it was so fun. The active player is like picking cards, and then they're choosing a prompt, and they're telling everybody, I want you to draw me a tattoo of these 3 things. So you're going to be choosing like 3 cards. So I think mine was like, I want it to have a shark, I want it to have jet skis, and I want it to have somebody wearing a suit or something. And then everybody would draw a tattoo with those prompts, and then they're going to go around one by one explaining the tattoo they drew, and you have to say, I think you did this part better, and of all these, I would get this tattoo. We had a lot of fun playing it. And then just very quickly, I also played Chameleon without Jeff, which is basically a word version of Fake Artist Goes to New York. We also played Camel Up. Classic.
Always a good one.
Always good. And then we played Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, which finally we actually have one.
So Deception Deception and Murder in Hong Kong is a party-esque social deduction game. One person is playing as a forensic scientist that will be giving very abstract clues to the rest of the group. One person is the murderer, and they are going to have cards in front of them that state like the location and the murder weapon. So they will tell the forensic scientist at the beginning of the game, they'll point to them while everyone's eyes are closed. They'll be like, murder, reveal yourself. And then they'll point to the things in front of them that they want to choose as their weapon and location. The forensic scientist has a bunch of prompts in front of them that they can then tell the group. You can't speak. They can pick these really abstract things in order to help everyone else guess who the murderer is.
Yeah.
Each person has 30 seconds to talk to justify why they think that the clues given point to a specific person. And after those 30 seconds, you have to stop.
Yeah.
There's no banter in between. It's 30 seconds to speak. The next person goes, and then you just keep going around until you guess. And that's murder, deception, or deception, murder in Hong Kong.
A murder, a deception in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And we played this 3 times. We had a great time playing
Yes.
this every single time. I was the murderer the first time and nobody caught me.
Jamie had a cat in front of her. I was like, she 100% picked the cat based off no knowledge other than the fact that I just know Jamie. And I kept pointing to the cat, and it wasn't a cat.
I didn't pick the cat because I'm too smart for that. Then we played a Feast for Odin.
Jamie hates Feast for Odin. This is the first time I got to play Feast for Odin in person. I've only played it on BGA, and I've played it an absolute ton. Kyle and I know Feast for Odin very well. Jamie does not. She struggled with that.
I just think it's too much. Why does it have to be so many things?
It isn't, though. And the problem is you just haven't played it enough to understand what those little nuances and strategy are. And that's Kyle and I's fault for not walking you through it maybe a bit better. Mm-hmm. You had played it once before on BGA.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Feast for Odin is basically like this massive worker placement game. So there's a massive board with a ton of actions that you can take. In each round, you're getting an additional Viking to put out on the board. You can explore islands. You can raid and steal stuff, and ultimately you're putting all of these polynomial pieces on your board. There's multiple strategies. I think Feast for Odin struggles a little bit because at base game there's really only one strategy that can really pay off. It sucks that you hate it because I love it and I want to buy it, and I do think it plays really well at 2-player, but I'll try and convince her. She also just hates Uwe games, so.
Not all of them. I
Pretty
like
much all of
Patchwork
them.
and New York Zoo. Okay, so moving on from that, we also played Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest again with Kyle, so always a good time with that
We have
game.
a review of that game if you want to go check it
We have
out.
a full-on review, so if you want to see more, you will go and watch it.
Yep.
Then we played Irish Gauge, which is a like little cube rail train game. So you're bidding on different train companies, and you are just trying to build out different like railways from like different towns and cities to score points. And every round, you're either going to be putting out trains, or you are going to be pulling out these cubes from a bag, which are going to tell you which types of towns and stuff that you're going to be scoring. And then you're also, like I said before, bidding on different companies.
I think it's stock.
Multiple people can own stock in the same company, or if you want to get a monopoly on a certain color or whatever, then you can buy all of it. Anyways, I like this game way more than I thought that I would. The little tiny trains are freaking adorable.
Yeah, it was very good.
They're very cute.
I was very shocked that you enjoyed it. It is a very simplistic stock bidding placement game.
Yeah, but it's colorful.
And is it though?
Yes. We played Blood Rage, which we have played before. I don't think we're going to bother going to it.
I'm just going to say something quick. Yeah, we've played Blood Rage a handful of times now, I think.
I think we only played it once before this.
I don't know where I land with Blood Rage anymore. I really thought that I enjoyed it a lot. We played it again with Kyle, and I just did not have a good experience with it. You have to play Blood Rage a ton to get good at Blood Rage, to know all the cards that can come out and which ones are going to effectively help you win the best. And I think the problem is if you play Blood Rage with someone that really knows how to play Blood Rage, you're going to lose. And that's fine, but I just feel like I just pull out Rising Sun.
I'd rather play Rising Sun.
Blood Rage is really, and I'm sure I'm going to take a lot of heat for this, but Blood Rage is just falling for me. I don't know if I have much interest in playing it anymore.
I honestly think that like that, even that trio, like people love Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh. And I just think like for me, maybe Troops on a Map isn't really my biggest favorite type of game.
I like Troops on a Map.
I think that I do like Rising Sun because it just feels like there's something more to the game. There's something a little bit more to it. it than Blood Rage or Ankh. I don't know.
There's just other troops on a map game that I think I just enjoy more. Like Rising Sun, I think is the one I like the most.
Yeah, me too.
Like Lords of Hellas, I really enjoy. There's more to the game. There's more to it. Like I feel like Blood Rage is very like
basic.
If you screw up a card or don't know the cards, you're not going to win.
Yeah. Then we played New York Zoo, which is an Uwe game that I do love. We've already talked about that. And then for the first time we played High Society, which is just this really like easy bidding game. Yeah. And it's just a card game that plays pretty quickly, and you are, how does it work? You're trying to like not bid too much, not have the least amount of money.
Yeah, if you bid too much, you lose automatically.
Yeah, I lost. I've always bid too much.
I played it twice. I played it with Jamie and Kyle, and then I played it again with Kyle and Kevin. Both times were really enjoyable.
And then we played Scout, which we're not going to talk about a lot because we just covered it in our board game snapshot video.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to learn more about Scout, which is an amazing card game, you should go and check that out for sure.
Our first ever Oink game.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Yes. And then we played Ticket to Ride Nordic countries, and I don't think we need to go into too much detail about this, but it's Ticket to Ride in the Nordic countries.
And it's supposed to play better at like lower player counts, so 2 and 3. So we played it at 3. Add some really cool mechanics where cards just work a bit differently, and the rail system has a bit of limitations.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it.
We may or may not be doing...
Yeah. There might be a Ticket to
Ride stuff coming up.
Yeah. Probably not anytime soon, but maybe in the fall, I think.
Yeah. Maybe we're going on a train
tuned.
ride. Stay tuned. Who's to know? All right. Then we played Hallertau. We played this bad boy. Well, Jeff played it with Kyle, and then Jeff and I played it.
Kyle taught me this. We played a 2-player game of Hallertau, and I loved it. And then after I played it, Kyle had asked if I thought Jamie would enjoy it, and I was like, I do think she will enjoy this one. I'm not sure because it's always hit or miss with Uwe with Jamie. But then I taught Jamie it, and she had a good time with it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
This is definitely of all of this style of Uwe games because, like, it's not that I don't like Uwe because I love Patchwork and I also love New York Zoo, but the other ones are usually pretty boring when they're about farming and stuff. So anyways,
this one's kind of about farming.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. This is the one of like that style of game from him, specifically like the lookout games. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like his line of lookout games. This is definitely my favorite one that I've played.
So in Hallertau, it has a really cool, in my opinion, crop mechanic. So just like most Uwe games, you're gathering resources in order to proceed further into the game and score more points. So you have this big like house that you're moving on this track as you go, and there's resources that you have to pay in order to move this house from left to right. And the further right you go, the more points you're going to score at the end of the game. There's a really cool crop mechanic where if crop fields are not used, they actually improve, and if you plant crops and use those crops, then the field is going to decrease in value. It plays really well at 2 in my opinion. I'm excited to play it more because it's one that Jamie actually enjoys.
Yeah, good job, Uwe. You did it. But I mean, the art. It reminds me of like something that your mom would buy in the Amish country that she'd be like, look at my Amish painting.
Yeah, fair.
Then we played Babylonia. Okay, so Babylonia. Oh, and I will say both Hallertau and Babylonia were sent to us from Asmodee Canada. So thank you to Asmodee for sending those. Babylonia is a game that Doolin from Table Nuts has talked about so much, and pretty much it's guaranteed if Doolin likes a game, I will also like it. So we got it, we played it, and we loved it.
So good.
It's so good. And it's kind of like an abstract type of game, really, where you've got like you have a little stand with these different chips that have symbols on them. And you're laying them out all over the land, and you're trying to score points by making different connections or by surrounding ziggurats and doing all these different things like that. So it's kind of like how would you describe it? Like chip placement?
It's a tile placement.
It's like tile placement, but there's no tiles. It's like little chippies. And it's really, really puzzly, and it was not complicated to learn. It does say it takes about an hour to play. I don't know that it took us that long, so at 2 players, maybe a bit quicker. I'd be really interested to play this at more than 2.
Yeah, I feel like the map expands for more players. What I think is a really cool mechanic in Babylonia is like both players can score on each player's turn.
Yes.
So you really have to be strategic because as Jamie mentioned, the longer your network of like chips are, the more you're going to score. Like they'll combo off of each other. But if you actually score something that the other player has a long combo for, they're actually going to score a ton of points too. Yeah. So
it's
very good.
So good. Then we played Cascadia again. It's actually the first time we played it in person, and I love it even more.
So good.
In person.
It is
so good. Then we played for the first time Gargoyles Awakening. It's a Disney game. and I love Disney.
I think this is a very good intro game to like skirmish-esque games, but it also has terrain. I don't play a lot of like terrain games like Warhammer and that sort of thing, but this is a very good intro game to that sort of mechanic because there are buildings that influence movement types, and one of the cool mechanics in this game is that you can actually like glide, so your gargoyles can actually be on top of a building and glide off the building and across the map. And really, ultimately, all you're trying to do, there's a bunch of different scenarios in this game that you play, and you're just trying to defeat the villains. So there's movement rules, there's attack rules. It's very simple. I think it'd be great for kids to intro them into skirmish games and utilizing terrain.
I think the big draw with this game is the theme.
If you like gargoyles too, absolutely.
And we were on a huge Disney kick because we may or may not have some Disney content coming up. I don't know. Who's to say?
This is Disney Sidekicks.
Disney Sidekicks is a game where you are playing as Disney sidekicks. There's a bunch of different combos, so you could be like Abu or Lumiere, Tinkerbell, Timon and Pumbaa, or the three fairies from Sleeping Beauty. And you are trying to rescue your hero from a castle that is being guarded, and you also have the villains kind of trying to prevent you from saving the hero.
You're trying to collect like little, I don't know what the tokens are called, I apologize, but they're like little star tokens, which you then use to unlock the castle to rescue your hero.
And this is a co-op game. You don't win unless like both of your heroes are rescued. Like you can only rescue your own hero. You have to kill the villains and fight the villains and do all of these things. This game is actually designed by Eric Lang, which I think is kind of funny because it just does not seem like his type of game. But it is a little bit
clunky.
It's a little clunky. I'm not gonna lie. Like this game, I feel like has so much potential to be such a fun little game, but the rules are really finicky in it.
They're very finicky.
And we kept having to look things up, and we're like, man, this could be way simpler than what
and achieve the same result.
Exactly.
It gave me kind of like Horrified vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a little puzzly with movement and stuff. We actually ended up losing. We lost on like the last turn.
Then, just to keep it on the Disney train, this was sent to us from the OP. So thank you to the OP for sending this to us. But this is Kingdom Hearts Perilous Pursuit, a cooperative chase to defeat the Heartless. Jeffrey?
Perilous Pursuit is in the world of Kingdom Hearts, so if you played any of those video games, it exists in that world. I would say Kingdom Hearts is a kid-friendly dice roller. You are rolling dice in order to build up actions and abilities so that then you can attack the Heartless. You're going through multiple different worlds. It's very much just chucking dice. It's very random. If you don't like that, avoid. But if you have kids that you just want to play a game with and the mechanics are very simple, they can easily just roll dice and place things in and take actions.
Yeah. We played it twice. The first time we played it very wrong.
Yes,
and we were both like, this is a little ridiculous. Like,
we're never going to win.
We're never going to win. And then we realized all the things we were doing wrong. We're like, oh. So we played it again, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more the second time. My biggest critique of this game is it just went on for a little bit too long. Because depending on the rolls that you get, you're either like rolling and you're taking life off of the Heartless, but then they have a turn, and then they're just adding life back on sometimes. And it's just kind of like this tug of war where...
It is very much tug of war.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, okay, this feels like I'm ready to just kill this person. Then we played two games that were also in our board game snapshots, and that was Isle of Skye and Nirishima Hex. So if you'd like to learn more about those two games, then definitely go and check that out. I will link it below. So then we played a new game that is on Kickstarter currently. I think it's still on Kickstarter as of this video, and we played it on Tabletopia because they've opened it up for playtesting and stuff. That is Birds of a Feather. It's a card game where it's kind of like
set collection.
Kind of like set collection, where you are laying out different cards that have different symbols, and then you are going to be scoring. So everybody around the table is laying out a card. Let's say I laid purple. We played with Tyler and Ilya. So let's say I laid purple, Jeff laid blue, Ilya laid purple, and Tyler laid purple. I would get to score 3 purple so long as the symbols are different.
Yeah.
So you're trying to collect all of the symbols within a color, and there's like 6 or 7 different colors, and you're going through different rounds, and whoever gets the most points at the end wins. I'm not doing a very good job at explaining it.
Okay. You have like a player board that you're trying to X off colors and iconography. And the more of that board you X off, the better you're going to score. But they would have, say, 7 different icons.
Like a feather, 2 feathers, a wing, 2 wings,
a claw. And so in Jamie's example, let's say Jamie and I both played a purple down. Mine had an egg on it and Jamie's had had one feather. I then, and Jamie then, can cross off the feather and the egg because we match our colors.
Yes, and then all of those cards go into the middle. It
proceeds to the middle, and then if you play a purple on that next turn, like let's say Tyler played a purple on his next turn, he can then score the purple card in front of him and any purple cards that are in the inner ring. It's actually really good. I
really liked it. I love little card games though.
Yeah.
So, and the art is just like beautiful.
Yeah, check it out.
Then we played a new game that I just got called The Bears and the Bees, and this was actually gifted to me from Doolin from Table Knots. This is from Grandpa Beck's Games, which are the same publishing company that does Skull King, which we loved. And this is a very simple card game where you are building out a beehive and you are trying to cut other people off and get rid of all of your cards first. It's played over 3 rounds. Whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the game wins. So you're trying to get rid of all of your cards. If you still have cards left in your hand, you have to score them, clear it up, set it all up again, and go. And you're building out a hive with honeycombs and worker bees and drones and bears and flowers and all of these things. And I love it.
Yeah, I actually had an incredibly good time with this game. It's just
puzzly.
A puzzly little card placer.
Little cards. Like they're just these cute little cards and it's so simple. You could teach this to anyone. You could play this with anyone. And the art is adorable.
I think this is one I'd like to try with my mom.
Yes.
All right, next up.
Sent to us from
Cosmos. Thank you, Cosmos, for that. Is Targi. Targi is a 2-player game where you are building out a grid of cards that have actions on them that you are placing your workers on these action spaces on the outer ring in order to then take the inner actions. So wherever your workers intersect on the grid in the middle, whatever card they intersect with is where I'll place a token that I will then take an action later on after I've taken my outside action. And you are trying to build out a grid of 12 tribe cards, but you want them to either match or to be one of each different tribe type. Targi's been mentioned to us a ton. I don't know how much I felt about it.
I think we need to play it more.
I thought it went on too long, but that could be a product.
It's a 60-minute game, which I'm surprised by.
Everyone loves this game, and every time we talk about 2-player games, it's always like, why didn't you talk about Targi? Why didn't you talk about Targi? Well, we hadn't played it. We have now.
Now we have.
And I still feel like I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I think that we definitely need to play it more because I think the issue with us the first time we played it is that we didn't know the strategy and we didn't know the cards, so we were like flipping cards over to read what the iconography meant and all that stuff. So I think once we get to know the game more, like the big thing about Targi is it's a very mean game. Yeah. And that's why people thought that we would really like it. We didn't really play it that way necessarily.
I tried to, but I kept screwing up. My biggest issue with it was the time.
Yeah, it just
took too long.
Then the last game that we played in the month of April was Creature Comforts from Kids Table Board Gaming. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love that these games keep coming out that incorporate a bunch of different mechanics, like Creature Comforts, like Arnak, like Dune Imperium.
Yes, because this is a worker placement, tableau building, engine builder, resource gatherer.
Yeah, catered more to, I think, younger kids.
Yeah, what does it say? Ages 8 and up, but
it's thinky.
But it's got something to it. So basically in this game, what you're doing is each person is kind of like a forest animal. So I was raccoons and Jeff was a hedgehog, and you are placing your workers out. Then you're going to be rolling dice, and then each person's going to take their turn, and then you're going to be doing dice placement, which is going to trigger the abilities of where you put your workers. So it's not just worker placement. You also then have to activate that location by putting out the correct type of dice. So something might be like you need 2 of the same type of dice, or this one needs a specific number, or this one needs to equal exactly 7 or over 11 or whatever. And then you're taking those actions and you're getting creature comforts, which is kind of the whole goal of the game, is to collect these creature comfort cards and build them out in front of you.
Yep.
And then they have end of game scoring, or they have different triggers that trigger off of different cards. And then you can build improvements on your little den. And there's just so much going on, but it's not too much going on. And everything kind of plays really well together. And it's friggin' adorable.
Yeah, I think it's a very simple game to learn.
I'm obsessed with it.
Somewhat more difficult to optimize your strategy strategy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm so surprised. I was
loved
not
it.
expecting Jeff to like it. I had a feeling that I would. But
this and Brian Boru, I think, are two of my like favorite gaming experience so far this year.
And two of the biggest surprises.
Of like newish games that I've played.
Yeah.
I had a ton of fun with this.
Yeah.
And I lost.
It was close though.
It was close. It's crazy that you can go through a game this long with this much nuance and have it end that close. And I think that just speaks to how well they've developed this game.
I was actually even surprised how much I love this game. I knew I would like it because of how freaking adorable it is, but the gameplay was so much more than I thought it would be.
And I think that the game length was perfect.
I'm now very excited for their new game coming out.
Yeah, there is a new...
Maple Valley?
Maple Valley, yeah.
Yes, please. More. And then there are 3 other games that we play. We did play, of course, Res Arcana with Billy and Michelle because that is just a staple in our lives.
Yep.
And Jeff had the opportunity to play Hansa Teutonica and Caverna.
Yeah, Hansa Teutonica, bit of an area majority game. Very straightforward. Again, I thought it was very easy to learn, very hard to develop a strategy for. Kyle did a video talking about that topic. You can go check out. Really enjoyed it. I think you would hate it. I also get to play Caverna, which is basically Agricola with a different theme. Really enjoyed Caverna, and I'm now torn because I don't know if I liked it more than Agricola or not. I think Agricola is a little bit more mean than Caverna is. Caverna, there's many more spaces that you can go to. It's less kind of hate drafty, which is what I enjoy about Agricola. Really enjoyed Caverna. I think if you like Agricola, you will love Caverna.
Yeah. So those are all of the games that we played in the month of April. We played way more than I thought. Really looking forward to May because I know we're going to be playing a ton of games this month as well.
Yep.
Let us know down below if you've played any of these games, what you think about them, all that good stuff. What was your favorite game of the month?
I think it was Creature Comforts.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yep. Creature Comforts, definitely.
But, I mean, it's a recency bias because we just played it. I would say it's Creature Comforts or Caverna.
Yeah. Creature Comforts for me, for sure.
Not Hallertau?
No.
Shocking.
That is all that we have for you guys today. If you're interested in buying any of these board games that we talked about, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us here in Halifax, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
It sure the heck is. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see...
Please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Oh. What? Weird.
Are you eating lunch now?
Yeah, I'm hungry. We are...
Why'd you say that?
I don't know, because you got them down on your nose. Can you even see?
No, we shouldn't say that.
No.
No, we shouldn't say
No, we shouldn't say that.
Cut that out.
Okay, cut that out.
Second, I got eye boogies.
Peg legs walking around?
Yep.
That. Ooh, did the cat throw up on that?
Yeah, I did have to throw up off of the carpet.
Perfect.
For tiles? What are you talking about? Oh, I guess they're not.
No.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.